you don't want it to end. I got things to live for. My first daughter got married this summer, and so I was glad I could walk her down the aisle. My name's Chuck Arsenault, and I've been a teacher in Custer for 19 years, and previous to that we were in Colorado for 10 years. I'm a graduate of Black Hills State College, and we moved back to the Black Hills from Colorado because we figured it was a great place to raise our kids. We have two daughters, one's 25 and one's 27, and live the outdoor lifestyle that we like to live. And I had some symptoms, and I probably should have went to the doctor, but being the macho man that every guy is, you know, there's nothing wrong with me, and I was only 48, so there probably was no colon issues or anything like that. So when I visited with my doctor and I mentioned that I had this bleeding, he became very concerned within minutes. He had a doctor on the phone, and he had me scheduled for an appointment the next day to get into the doctor for a colonoscopy, because he said there was no reason that I should have any of that. And you're going in thinking, well, everything's going to be okay, and it's just they're going to find something simple. And when you wake up and you come to and you finally realize, and the doctor walks in and says, "We found cancer," your reaction is, "Oh great, what do I do now?" You know, what about, and the first thing I thought about was my wife. She's sitting there with me, and I can remember the first thing I did was I apologized to her, like I had something to do to stop it. And I had no control over that. So, I mean, that was just my first reaction. And then it was immediately, what are we going to do? So on February 10th, I believe, 2 years ago, I had my surgery, and I had 6 centimeters of my colon removed and resectioned. And got out of the hospital, and that was a long recovery period, and the cost is very expensive. The $120,000 just for the chemo and the $70,000 for the surgery. It could have been prevented with a $1,500, $2,000 colonoscopy procedure and polyp removal, and be a lot more effective at that point. Because once you get into the point of cancer and chemo, there's always that chance that it's never going to go away. It's one of those things that you can't be macho about, you know, and the dreaded colonoscopy, it's painless. Part of your colonoscopy procedure is taking that prep, and from personal experience, I didn't have much of a problem with it. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, and with the drinks that they've got for you now, they've even got them flavored for you. During the colonoscopy, they'll remove the polyps right there, and that alleviates the chances of turning into full-blown cancer. And I've actually had a couple of friends that have gone in and they've had polyps removed. It really is important for your family. I think when I look back, my wife probably went through more than I did. For them feeling like they can't do anything or they can't help you, what do we do for you, you know? And I think that's in any situation, you know, what do you do for someone who has cancer? How do you approach them? How do you talk to them about it? Just be open about it and talk to people about it. I mean, I don't mind anybody talking to me about cancer, because I'm going to tell them, you know, what happened and how it happened and what should be done. And I think it's very important that people aren't afraid of the word cancer anymore. It's a very survivable disease. If you want to continue the lifestyle that you lead and that you love to have with your family, it's really important to get screened and to try and stop severe consequences before they get too far. I mean, the polyps are so much easier to remove and a lot less hassle and expense and wear and tear on your body. I mean, the cancer surgery, between the surgery and the drugs that I've had to take, it's impacted my life even now because of my feet, the neuropathy in my feet, and just not being able to go out and do as much as I used to do. And I still get fatigued more easily or easier than I used to. But my recovery's been going good. I had my last checkup a couple days ago, and I'm still cancer-free, and everything's going good. And it's changed my outlook on life. I mean, before that, you think you're invincible, and now every day, one day at a time. When there's things that happen in our country and you see things happen and people die every day, whether it's from a disease or from an accident or something like that, you just think it could have been me that day. It could be me. I could be on you know, at the end, and got one grandson to live for, so got to take care of that. 15 months old and learning how to talk and terrorize the neighborhood already, I think, and he's going to be my fishing buddy, I hope.